Okay, so we've heard all of this. This seems like the signs are clear. What do people need to do?
Yeah, run for cover.
You talked about the losses in the banking sector. What are the other signs that you're seeing that are eerily similar to '08 that make you really uneasy and that are making people that you're talking to uneasy?
That's a great question. There's a couple things. One technical, one not. The technical question is if you go pull the interest rate yield on treasury bonds, normally if you give the government or a company, whatever, just use government in this case for treasury bonds, if we give the government our money for a year, we're going to get an interest rate for that, right? Maybe it's 4%. If we give it to them for 10 years, we should earn a higher rate of interest rate because we're giving our money to them for a longer period of time. That's the normal yield curve. The longer you loan your money out, the higher the interest rate. Well, from time to time, that inverts. And we had that for the last 2 years. We had a 6-month treasury bond bill paying 5% and a 10-year treasury bond paying 4%, which doesn't make any sense. But that happens. If you go pull, 120 years or whatever of this data on the Federal Reserve's website, you can see this. It happens once in a while. And when it happens, every time it's happened, shortly thereafter, once it's corrected itself, shortly thereafter, we've had a recession. Every time. Well, it just happened. For 27 months, we were upside down, and we just reversed to normal. So it looks like a recession is coming. It smells like a recession is coming. You've got car loan delinquencies skyrocketing, credit card delinquencies skyrocketing, commercial real estate foreclosures and delinquencies skyrocketing. Consumers not doing so well. Clearly something's going on, right? Well then, just like in 2008, leading up to 2008, you had the Treasury Secretary, the Fed Chairman, CEOs of banks saying everything's fine, we're going to be fine, there'll be some small losses, nothing to worry about here. Well, you're starting to see that as well. The SEC chairman just recently gave a talk, and in his talk he was talking about, these are okay, but we're going to be fine. We're not going to go into a recession. There's some things there that make us uneasy, but everything will be fine. So they're coming out and they're telling us everything's going to be fine. That's when your radar should go up. I learned this over my financial advice career. We were trained to just keep people invested at all times. Nobody really ever says go to cash. Nobody ever recommends that. There's certainly nothing wrong with parking money in like a short-term treasury bill that's paying 4.5%, 5%. There's nothing wrong with parking your money there, waiting for the train wreck to happen. Some people have the mindset, well, my money's got to be working, it's got to be working. Well, if you're parked in something safe, the whole purpose isn't to make it work for you and like earn over inflation rate, earn 10%. The whole point is to be able to not lose money, and B, have money available for opportunities when the train wreck happens. If you want to go back in the stock market, wait for the crash, go back to the stock market, or you can go into other real estate type things, or what we do with mineral rights. Usually the cash on cash yield for oil and gas royalties is 15% out of the gate. There's lots of ways to make 10%, but you don't need Wall Street. With the banking things, there's great small banks that are out there that are, we have 2 small banks, and those small banks, both of them less than $2 billion in assets. One of them's family owned and private since 1904. It's a 120-year-old bank. They're not going anywhere. They're in the community. We can talk to them. We could see them at the grocery store. It's totally different than the CEO of JP Morgan or Bank of America. I mean, I can't predict when it's going to crash, or how it's going to crash, or what's going to be the trigger that's going to make it crash. I just know it's not going to keep going up forever.